call it to order. First thing we're gonna do is pledge allegiance. Anybody like that? Start on. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Starla here?
No, she's sick.
Okay, does someone wanna, we were gonna go ahead and do, Lord's Prayer? Oh. And she was gonna start it off for us, but.
Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Okay, we need to get a quorum check. Everyone's here. The first thing, we've moved a little bit of the new business up. We've got Michael Gonzalez here from Atmos Energy, and he's gonna talk to everyone a little bit about the rate increase, and so it's all yours.
Like for me to sit up here.
You can sit up here, you can stand up here.
Well, first off, I want to thank you for your time and allowing me to come to speak to you guys about a rate increase from Atmos. I'm Michael Gonzalez. I'm the manager of public affairs. I office out of Amarillo. So came to talk about just a little bit of the language of the document of what we're proposing. So the West Texas City Coalition is the organization that represents 63 cities across West Texas and the area that we cover. It includes Palisades. So the rate increase that we're proposing is due to the fact it's an investment to update our infrastructure and our pipeline, right? So we have to make sure that it's safe and reliable. In order to do that, we have to properly maintenance and replace old aging pipe and infrastructure. So a lot of that cost associated with that is because of that, and we've invested over $100 million across our division, right across West Texas, in order to update all our infrastructure. So the coalition is agreed with our company amount of $152,000 is the annual increase, and that's across the cities. And how we do that is implement those in the customer charges that you guys would see on your bill. So how does that affect you with that amount as a whole? How does it affect a residential customer? So just to kind of give you a number, so the current customer charge right now for a residential customer is $17.50. There's also a consumption charge, right? So depending on how much you use, there's an amount that's multiplied against the amount that you use. It's measured in CCS. So that current consumption charge is 0.27574 per CCF. So with the new rates for a residential customer, that is a $17.52. It would be the new customer charge. So 2-cent increase on the customer charge, and that would make the new consumption charge 0.27674 per CCF. So to give you an example, and this is factoring average gas costs, and we're using 50 CCFs. So your resident use about 50 CCFs of gas. Your current gas bill right now is $45.18 based on that usage. So with the new proposed rate, you're looking at $45.26. So about an 8-cent increase. That's factoring the customer rate charge increase and the consumption charge along with it. So that kind of gives you a good idea of kind of how that will affect you as a resident. There's other costs that are different, but that's because it's broken down by if you have a commercial business. There's a different commercial charge with that, or a public authority, which those are more identified for school districts Those are different class meters, different rates that those fit in. So that pretty much kind of summarizes what the annual rate case and what it's for. Like I said, a lot of it is because we continue to monitor our facilities, we continue to update it. You know, we have state-of-the-art equipment that are always monitoring for leaks, you know, as we try to catch all of it, and then just aging pipe that's been in the ground and try to replace and update it with the, you know, the new plastic piping that we have in areas. Is there any questions that I could help answer?
So we're looking at an 8% increase, right?
Yes, sir.
8 cents overall.
Yes.
That's good.
Has anyone looked at our pipelines to see if they're old or they need replaced?
Yes. So we have, several guys, in the department, in our compliance team, so they monitor all the areas, every area is on a different schedule, and we have different rules and how often we are to monitor all of the lines, including, you know, commercial, so we're doing that on a regular basis. We actually use the state-of-the-art equipment that monitors and measures gas and parts per billion. So it's pretty sensitive, so we have that machine, it's pretty accurate, and it gives us a pretty good idea. So if there are any outstanding leaks that we find, whether it's someone that calls and reports it, or one of our technicians that, find it on a routine check, we address those and you know, fix those immediately. If there's any kind of large pipe replacement projects that may involve, you know, affect quite a few meters, we're usually pretty good to let you guys know and to let all of our customers know if there's any kind of a large scale project like that, especially if it's gonna cause any inconvenience to temporarily disconnect your service while we make the swap and the repairs as needed, so.
So I reported a leak, a gas leak on our side, 3 times to 3 different technicians I saw passing by. And it took the third one to actually do anything. Does that cost get passed on to us for that?
No, that doesn't. Without having to get more information, it's kind of hard to say. I'd be more than happy to follow up on that with you. Depending on the leaks, you know, without having to go into really detailed specifics, certain leaks are graded differently. So, depending on where the leak is at,
It was on the main line.
if it's close to any buildings, if it's close to any major schools, if it's something that's out in the middle, now, I'm not trying to say that it's not a priority, I'm just saying that depending on the severity of the leak. All leaks are important to us, but, you know, for every leak that comes up, for us to have the manpower to fix every one of them, you know, we stay in compliance with the real information of when we repair those. But if you're still smelling gas,
No, not now. They finally fixed it.
get it. And, you know, like I said, without having to go back and look at the scenario to kind of see what happened, what kind of fell through the cracks on us. You know, sometimes it's kind of hit or miss, maybe we thought we found it, and maybe there was something, you know, especially when weather, when you get a bunch of rain, sometimes those leaks are kind of hard to track. And certainly not making any excuses, I just know from experience from working out there, sometimes when you think that you got it all and something that we just didn't find at the time. You know, this pipe, it ages, it corrodes with weather and everything. We come back and fix the leak where we thought it fixed, it rains and.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't passed on
No,
to
no,
us.
yeah, totally, I understand. Yeah, I don't.
Our fire department, our volunteer fire department is considered a business. Is there any way to change that? Because right now, I mean, your business rate base is $50 and they don't use any gas whatsoever. But, I mean, being a volunteer fire department, their income is pretty low and that
Sure.
eats a whole big chunk every month, so.
So is it set up as a commercial
It
account?
is there any way to change that? Being that it's just a,
I can definitely check with you.
Okay.
If, I'll get with you, I'll leave you my information, I'll get the address and you can definitely check on it for you.
okay, great.
Yep.
Hey, Mike, if we find an exposed gas line, do we just call y'all?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We can come and check to make sure that it's, for one, if it's active, make sure that, you know, if we have to come back and maybe lower that, put it in the ground, or, you know, do any kind of a work. If it's dead or abandoned, then we'll let you know and we'll address that too. There's other procedures that we make sure that, you know, that way there's nothing that gets in that pipeline that would cause, any kind of odor to spread.
Your turnaround time on that?
I'm sorry,
The turnaround time, because we reported one up on the other.
on the exposed,
So, yes, they came and they put some cones on it, but it's been about 2.5 weeks now, and it's still there, and then we found another one further down a little bit from it as well, so.
you know, I'm not sure, but if you reported it, I'll definitely follow up on that. If I
Okay,
can get an
appreciate it.
address of where it's at.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Any more questions? So on the resolution, is there anything need to be further on that?
No, sir, other than, you know, like I said, once voted and approved, just your signatures on there, I believe it. I mean, depending on if you, everyone kind of requires a different thing. If you have a city attorney, city manager, and city secretary, if you'll just sign those.
Yeah, the city attorney's already signed off
Okay.
on it,
Yep,
so,
and if you guys just require one reading, most do, but some are different.
you're saying we don't need a reading? Can we just,
I've never found in my experience for a resolution, but if you want to go back and check with your city attorney, if it requires you to, we'll certainly do that.
so you were saying that most cities don't read them?
They don't require a second reading, so they'll have it, and then they'll come back and have another meeting for a second approval for whatever. I'm not really sure about the specifics.
So you were saying if we do the reading, it was just like one paragraph that we needed?
No, just, I mean, if you guys have the document, we spoke about it. I mean, if you wanna read it to everybody, that's totally up to you. And just, I think the last page is where it requires your signature of approval for the reading or the meeting or whatever.
Yes, sir. Who wants to start? You want to take the first section? Take turns.
Okay, it's resolution number 91421, a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the Village of the Palisades approving a negotiated settlement between the Executive Committee of Cities Served by Atmos West Texas Cities and Atmos Energy Corp. West Texas Division regarding the company's 2021 rate review, mechanism filing, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustments consistent with the negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the attached settlement, tariffs to be just and reasonable and to the public interest, approving an attached exhibit establishing a benchmark for pensions and retiree medical benefits, approving an attached exhibit regarding amortization of regulatory liability, requiring the company to reimburse cities reasonable rate marketing expenses, determining that this resolution was passed in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Opens Meeting Act, adopting a savings clause, declaring an effective date, and requiring delivery of this resolution to the company and the city's legal counsel. Whereas the Village of the Palisades City is a gas utility customer of Atmos Energy Corp. West Texas Division, Atmos West Texas, and/or company, and a regulatory authority with an interest in the rates and changes of Atmos West Texas, and whereas the city is a member of cities served by Atmos West Texas Cities and coalition of similarity situated cities served by Atmos West Texas that have joined together and to facilitate the review of and response to natural gas issues affecting rates charged in the Atmos West Texas service area. And whereas cities and company worked collaboratively, thank you, to develop a new rate review mechanism, the RRM tariff, that allows for an expedited rate review process by cities as a substitute to the gas reliability infrastructure program, which is the GRIP process instituted by the, did I miss a page? Okay. Didn't have number two.
Okay, I'll take two. Instituted by the legislature that will establish rates for cities based on the system-wide cost of serving the Atmos West Texas service area. Whereas the RRM tariff was adopted by the city in a rate ordinance in 2018, and whereas on April 1st, 2021, Atmos West Texas filed its 2021 RRM request rate with cities based on a test year ending December 31st, 2020, and whereas cities coordinated its review of the Atmos West Texas 2021 RRM filing through its executive committee, assisted cities, attorneys, and consultants to resolve issues identified in the company's RRM filing, and whereas the executive committee, as well as cities, councils, and consultants, recommends that cities approve an increased base rate for the Atmos West Texas of $152,000 with the effective date of December 1st, 2021. And whereas the attached tariffs, Exhibit A, implementing new rates are consistent with the recommendation of the city's executive committee, are agreed to by the company and are just, reasonable, and in the public's interest. And whereas the settlement agreement sets a new benchmark for pensions and retiree medical benefits, Exhibit B, and whereas settlement agreement establishes an amortization schedule for regulatory liability, Exhibit C, and whereas the RRM tariff contemplates reimbursement of cities' reasonable expenses associated with RRM applications. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the Village of Palisades, Texas, Section 1, that the findings set forth in the resolution are hereby in all things approved. Section 2, that without prejudice and to future litigation of any issue identified by cities, the City Council finds that the settled amount of the increase in revenues of $152,000 for cities represents a comprehensive settlement of gas utility rate issues affecting the rates, operations, and services offered by Atmos West Texas within the municipal limits arising from Atmos West Texas 2021 RRM filings. It is in public interest and is consistent with the city's attorney under Section 103.001 of the Texas Utilities Code. Section 3, that the existing rates for natural gas service provided by West Texas Atmos are unreasonable. The new tariffs attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit A are just and reasonable and are designed to allow Atmos West Texas to recover annually an additional $152,000 in revenue from customers and cities over the amount allowed under currently approved rates. Such tariffs are hereby adopted. Section 4, that the rate-making treatment for pensions and retiree medical benefits in West Texas, in Atmos West Texas, next RRM filing shall be set forth in Exhibit B attached hereto and incorporated herein. Section 5, is subject to any future settlement or decision regarding the balance excess deferred income tax to be refunded to ratepayers. The amortization of regulatory liability shall be consistent with the schedule found in Exhibit C, attached hereto and incorporated within. Section 6, the Atmos West Texas shall reimburse a reasonable rate-making expenses of the cities in processing the company's 2021 RRM filing. Section 7, that the extent any resolution or ordinance previously adopted by the council is inconsistent with this resolution and hereby repealed. Section 8, that the meeting at which the resolution was approved shall in all things conduct in strict compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Section 9, that if any one or more sections or clauses of this resolution is adjusted to be is adjudged to be unconstitutional or invalid, such judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remaining provisions of the resolution, and the remaining provisions of the resolution shall be interpreted as if the offending section or clause never existed. Section 10. That consistent with the city ordinance and establishment of the RRM process, the resolution shall become effective from and after its passage, with rates authorizations by attached tariffs to be effective for bills referred to after December 1st, 2021. Section 11, this copy of this resolution shall be sent to Atmos West Texas, care of Philip Littlejohn, Vice President of Rates Regulatory Affairs, West Texas Division in Lubbock, Texas, and to Thomas Mercato, General Counsel to cities at Lloyd, Rochelle, and Townsend in Austin, Texas. Passed and approved this day, 2021. I make a motion that we accept resolution 91421 from Atmos Energy for their rate increase.
I'll second it.
Any opposed?
I'll need a copy of that.
Okay.
Let me see a show of hands.
That's longer than yours.
Thank you so much. Okay, next resolution.
Okay, was everyone all in favor of this?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm just glad it wasn't 2,000 pages.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
Maybe when we get up to a trillion, we'll have one.
If you have the time, if you'll, sure, give me a call and give me some more information about that.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yes.
He's asking for a copy also. I'll make it.
Just give me a call. Give me a call, so I'll give you more information. Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael, you said you needed a copy?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Man, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you guys very
Yeah,
much.
thanks,
You guys have a
Mike.
good
Thank you so
day.
much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, we're gonna go down to the reading of the minutes, August 10th. Were there any corrections?
There's a few, I have one, several actually. On page 5. Under the volunteer fire department report, the $457 for Julian's transmission, I believe Dennis said that was a duplicate from the month prior, wasn't supposed to be on there, and it ended up in this month's minutes and last month's minutes. So I think it needs to be struck from these minutes, so it doesn't look like we did it twice.
two prior minutes?
It was on the minutes, these are August, it was on the months prior also, Joanne, also. So it kind of appears that we did it twice. And the Atmos rate here, Atmos rate of 54.21 was not included in this discussion.
Where?
The same paragraph, we had a discussion about the Atmos rates that was pretty lengthy in there. And
Do you know what page that's on?
on page 5. Also under the volunteer fire departments when we had the discussion. On page 7,
Hold on, I'm not seeing it.
it's not on there.
Huh?
It's not in there, it needs to be in there.
So one correction so far?
2, then the G-Lens transmission needs to be struck, and, the Atmos $54.21 that we discussed about the community center and the volunteer fire department, we discussed it in the discussion wasn't listed. Then on page 7, under the ordinance clerk's report, that should be Shane Womack, not Shane Webb. And 2 sentences up from the bottom, it says, she stated that the number of pages on our previous, it was not website, it's ordinances. That word should be ordinances. She stated that the number of pages on our previous ordinances was 273, not website. And on page 9, on page 10, count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 lines down on page 10 where it says, budgeted $422 for this year based on the increased fee amount. You listed everything on the proposed budget, which is good. Thank you very much. That was a lot of work, but, there was the Paris email system is $200 a year. That was the one thing of all the listings that wasn't listed.
Say it again.
The Paris email system is $200, and we budget the same for next year, so at the end of that sentence, everything else was included except that on the listing. And 1, 2, 3, 4 lines up from the bottom of page 10, we budgeted $1,000 for legal fees, not professional services.
I think I went by the video on this.
Okay. On page 11. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down on page 11, it says, they spent $1,136 to set up, it says internet for the community center, that was to set up the website. Also, lower on that page, the last paragraph, there was discussion on internet costs to set up web page and maintenance fee. Carolyn Marie stated that she gets an itemized bill for, I'm not really sure what the end of that sentence should be, it's an itemized bill for.
I think it was for the internet cost.
Yep. Anyone else have any other changes? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of August tenth with the corrections.
Do we have a second? Both seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're gonna do the August 16th minutes. A little bit shorter. Do you have any corrections on the board?
Are we gonna use our secretaries, or are we gonna use the other one? Which one are we using?
The only one I have is this one.
I handed you one.
I haven't read hers, so let's just use this one.
That one doesn't have anything mentioned about the lawyer being.
About the what?
I'm gonna object to that because it doesn't mention anything about the lawyer being here, period.
You know, the minutes are supposed to be what was done, not what was said. I don't know why that would be, need to be in the minutes. Why would that need to be in the minutes?
Because he was here.
Well, it's all right. It's an open meeting.
Are you saying that no one, anybody that wasn't here doesn't deserve to know that, or?
No, I'm saying that anybody that's here, that was in here, do we need to list everybody that was here at the meeting? That's what I'm saying. So, okay, do we have any corrections to the minutes?
Accept the minutes as read.
Do we have a second?
On the executive session one though, was it an Angelique Weaver that you talked to at TML, or was it PRPC? Sorry.
Both.
You do, so you talked to all three, Angelique Weaver, PRPC, and TML?
Say that again?
So you had clarifications will be sought from Angelique Weaver and PRPC, so you talked to PRPC?
I'm sorry, I can't make out what you're saying.
So did you talk to PRPC or TML?
Both.
And Angelique Weaver, so you talked to all three?
I talked to Angelique Weaver and I talked to PRPC.
Okay, so you didn't talk to the Texas Municipal League?
Yep.
Okay.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
You know, first and second?
Is that first?
Jerry seconded, David.
Jerry second?
Who's first? Y'all are gonna have to.
Dave
speak up
first.
so
Dave
I can
first.
see.
Dave was first. Okay, we're gonna go on to acknowledgement of any new residents. We have any new ones? That's the first timer since I've been on.
Yeah.
Okay. Treasury report from Carolyn.
For, our checking account, the balance, beginning balance for the month of August was $18,780.87. We had, income from Randall County property tax collections of $287.51. Contribution for the roads, $20. Permit income, $270, for a total income of $577.51. Expenses for the month, the safety light at the gate was $14.55. The community center, Excel bill was $76.88. Community center Atmos bill was $57.87. And just a note on that, I did call Atmos and that $57 charge is the minimum charge for a resident, for a commercial account. And I put a call into them probably, last November, because they're charging us taxes on our gas bill and we're tax exempt. And so they went back and credited us for like the last 2 to 2.5 years on the taxes that they took out on our gas bill. So for a couple of months, we won't see a gas bill from Atmos. Atmos will have a credit. The next one, Granger, we bought the reflector strips for the parking poles out front in the amount of $29.64. Emerald Globe News, we had to put an ad in the newspaper to run for 7 days, announcing our tax rate. That was $366. PRPC, our PanCon communication system, every year we pay a fair share amount, and it's $422. We did the deposit refund to Amelia Salazar for renting the community center, her deposit back of $50. And so our total expenses for the month was $1,016.94, which left us a negative income for the month of August of $439.43. So our ending balance was $18,341.44. Our money market account beginning balance as of August the 1st was $22,056.58. We earned 37 cents in interest, so our ending balance was $22,056.95. Questions?
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as given.
Second. Bo seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Dennis Massey, Fire Department report.
Okay, we'll let Alfonso give our financial report.
So in our checking with Happy State, we have $12,199.52. We had 5 new batteries purchased for $401.55, and there was one more bill for AT&T at $102.52. In our savings, we have $5,678, and this is on top of what we are currently moved over to Wells Fargo. We're in the process of changing banks, which is almost complete, and we have went ahead and got rid of our AT&T service and went to UMA. And so we got them set up, and that's going to save us probably about $80 a month. So that should really help us out with that. And that should be it for the moment. That's it.
That's it?
Okay, we, in August, we had 2 calls. First one was a structured grass fire in the Palisades. And we responded to that along with Randall County and Tanglewood. Second was a grass fire in River Falls. Turned out to be a small fire, and we were disregarded along with Timber Creek and Tanglewood. We do have 3 estimates for electric door openers. How much was it?
About 1,900 is what we're going with.
Yeah, about 1,900 for the lowest one.
Is that what's already there for the figure what it is?
Well, this is for the,
What's already happened?
yeah, for the doors we got. We use electric door openers. We're still working on trying to get bids for a concrete pad. Anybody knows anybody that's cheap and good?
Too big qualifications.
Yeah. If concrete would come down, it would.
Concrete, I'm not sure you wanna do that.
And things are still getting hotter. People, areas mowed and trees trimmed and cleaned up. Don't forget to do your firewise forms. We put them in a little black box at the fire station. We have 8 volunteers now.
Good.
And we're going to do a fundraiser. We're going to do a fundraiser and trunk and treat for Halloween. We're going to there at the station. And has he serving, probably burgers, hot dogs, whatever. For, you know, for donations. See what we can get out of that. We'll have games for the kids.
Will that be on Halloween, or it will be on that Saturday before Halloween?
Probably that.
Halloween's during the week, right?
Halloween's on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
We went posted on our sign, but somebody threw our sign away, so. Just saying, you know. Somebody up there threw our sign away. Question?
Is the trunk or treat taking the place of the garage sale or in addition to?
We're just gonna wait on the garage sale till the spring.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's, we're still having training with Timothy, Tanglewood, and Rankin County, and that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Dennis, do y'all ever go to people's houses to check their smoke alarms?
Yeah, yeah, we're paged out, y'all, you can call it in, and request us to come down.
Okay,
They'll usually page us out.
okay.
Or we will come over and call us and we'll check it out.
So change the on batteries, but I'm thinking we're good.
Usually you change the batteries out when time changes.
So I changed mine out last month. I had it over this year.
You have the air conditioner out there and everything.
Thank you, Dennis, for what you do. We appreciate it. You and your guys do a great job.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Kelly Weatherford's not here, so I don't know if we have a permit.
I've got his
You got it? Okay.
We had 6 permits, for the month. We had Chris Schofield got a multi-load and a fence permit. Hoss Hamilton got a portable structure permit. Dennis Paquette got a multi-load permit. Sunny Helm got a roof permit, and Jerry Lane got a multi-load permit. So our permits for the month was $270.
Okay, you're up again. Ordinance report.
Ordinance report, this is just a follow-up from last month. The property that Shane Womack owns on Glen Eagle Drive has sold, and they are supposed to be closing on, I think the 30th of this month.
Yeah.
He sold it to a, veterinarian from Canyon, and they're gonna renovate the house for their daughter. And so there was a little bit of delay in closing, trying to get a clear title on it. And, so I think he said the end of this month is when they're closing.
Where's that actually at? Where's it actually?
The webs.
It's
The webs.
Roger Webb, Roger Webb.
Right where you going down. It's the one, Brenda, right as you turn and can first see the water. It's the road that goes up to the cliff walls in there, right? That's the water.
Are they aware of the septic problem?
John, we sent them a letter with John Gates.
No, they are, they know everything.
Yeah, Amy and I went up there with them with John Gates, and he said they won't be able to move in until he approves the septic. So. Floodplain report?
Yeah, I had some phone calls, but, paperwork, remember, we've had can you get my picture up, Liz? This has been an ongoing issue, so I'm gonna address this here. That's good right there. Okay, this is casino coming, this is Ern's turn, Ernie Alford's turn, Kelly Weatherford's home. The Medlin property's here. Mary Jones, your house would be right here. This, of course, the creek, anything in the blue is in the floodplain. This little gray area you can see right here is Kelly and Jerry Lane's home. That's Nassau going to their house. The red area here is their yard fence. That's where all the dirt went to Jerry's, to build up his yard, bring good dirt in, whatever it was for, it doesn't matter what it was for. That's where the dirt went. The floodplain on his property is probably 70 feet from here. The blue is the floodplain. And so it's been brought up that there was dirt illegally brought in here. There was some dirt used in his drive for leveling, and the bulk of the dirt was used right here in his backyard. The truck that got stuck right here going up this hill after it had dumped this dirt and was trying to pull up this hill. So that's where the dirt went. That's where the floodplain is at on that property. And that's the best I can explain it. And I did, Carol and I had some trouble finding what we needed, so we made, it's kind of hobbled together here, guys, sorry, but we'll post this up. This is a floodplain map, and it actually is a satellite view, so it's when you get up close to it, I think everyone will be able to find their house, and it'll help explain a lot of where you are before if you're lost as to what is the floodplain. The blue stuff, the blue and red is the floodway, the blue is the floodplain, the brown is zone X. You don't need any special permitting to build in the brown, but it's mostly for insurance purposes. Your insurance is gonna be higher, and if you borrow money to borrow to build, they're gonna want you to have certain flood, that's the 500-year floodplain, the brown is. So if you're in the blue, you have to have permitting. So I'll put this up, I'll find a place to put this, probably over on one of those walls, or maybe in here next to this, and we'll, so you guys can have something for a point of reference.
He settled in the creek, that's not, I mean, I thought there was we were told FEMA law, it goes before any law that we pass in Palisades. And that we were not supposed to bring in fill dirt on the creek that will silt the
You
creek.
can't bring fill dirt into the floodplain, You can bring fill dirt into your property.
But he
If you're
silted
not
the
in-
creek.
That's not the law. The law is you can't bring fill dirt, you can work with the dirt that's there. This isn't I'm not doing this, Brad, this is the law. I'm just the
You're in the
representative,
creek.
I'm just the representative. If it runs in, I don't know what to tell you. You can't bring fill dirt into any of the floodplain. You can work with the dirt that's there. If you have a high spot and a low spot, you can level them out and work with what's there. But according to FEMA, not me, not Palisades, you can't bring fill dirt into the floodplain. And that's not the floodplain by a long shot. And I will attempt to get that map up this evening if y'all want to visit. Doug, I know you guys have had some questions. I'll get it up and y'all can look at it.
Got a question.
And also, I was gonna say that, went and had a little meeting with Lisa Browning. She's the main lady in Randall County, and it's not Palisades that you're gonna have problems with. It's not Randall County. It's not the state of Texas. It's the federal government that stipulates all this. If you build in the floodplain and someone turns you in, it's not us that's gonna do it. It's the federal government that will send you paperwork saying you have so many days to remove whatever it is. If you don't remove it, then they fine you, and every day is a new fine. Yes, Dennis?
Did our floodplain limits change?
No. But it's not me, I'm just here to keep us from getting fined for not filling the position. And it's the federal government you'll be dealing with if you build in the floodplain and it gets turned in.
New business, we need to discuss and take action on the 21-22 budget.
All the aldermen have a copy of the proposed budget that I passed out last month with our proposed tax rate of 0.14530. After Sherry Kazar was here last month, we refigured what the property tax collections would be for Randall County based on that tax rate, and instead of us collecting $16,255.79, we're gonna collect $17,026.40. So that's $770.61 that we can add to our budget, because of the increased tax rate. So as a board, y'all need to decide where you wanna allocate that $770.61. We have to make that allocation before you can approve the budget.
I would think that we should put it in the discretionary fund, just in case for whenever, at the end of the year, since it's the end of our fiscal year, usually when we do the roads and all, we still have that in there, we can roll it over into the other fund.
We can move it wherever we need to.
You'll have to bring it before the board to do that.
So we can put it in that discretionary fund and go, hey, we put more money in the roads at the end of the year. Or we can go, hey, we need to
Or
put
the
it
flower
in this.
bed, or wherever you
Yeah.
want it.
Okay?
I'll make a motion that we put it in the discretionary fund.
Okay, do we have a second?
I think we should put the discretionary fund into the road maintenance.
At the end of the year, I agree, at the end of the year, yes.
But I mean, we spent the 6,000 at the end of this year, and we still have so many potholes that didn't get filled.
We do, but we also had roll-offs that came up that were unexpected. Every year, we're gonna have some unexpected stuff, and if we put it in the discretionary fund, we don't have to have special meetings to do that with. And at the end of the year, if it's still there, maybe we'll still use it on the roads, yes.
Well, don't we have a savings account that we can use for that if we have other stuff come up?
No.
We have a money market account.
We have a money market account, but no.
Well, I mean, what is that supposed to go towards? What are we building that fund for?
That's y'all's discretion.
If we have unexpected stuff, like, or for the roll-offs, could we pull from there?
There's usually penalties if you pull out of, we would get our 37 cents.
Yeah, right. But we would just have to have a emergency meeting and move the funds. Is that what we need to do if we needed to? Okay.
I'll second Bo's motion to put it in the discretionary fund, because it's still available to us for the roads.
Okay. We have a second. We're all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
So that's gonna bring our total budget to, $32,344.69. That's what we need a motion on.
344.
$32,344.69. And that does not include any money in our money market account. That's just operating expenses for the year.
Okay.
I have a question. Palisades Village interest, you have the materials at the entrance and contracted work coming out of the flower fund.
That's what we said for the discretionary money. You can move money to cover extra things not accounted for.
Well, that's, the lots, are you having the lots come out of that, or are you having the?
We budgeted $300 for the flower bed.
Just this flower bed on there? Just this flower bed on there?
Where are the safety lots on here coming out?
It's under the community center expenses. For Excel.
Community
If you wanna put money, if the board wants to put money under material entrance for the flower bed to take care of lights or whatever, we're gonna have to allocate that from that $770.61.
So the road and traffic department, safety lights, gate, that's.
No, it's under village entrance,
We paid it line at
619.
the community center, correct?
Okay.
What?
The electric for that, is that?
The electric comes out of it, but if the lighting goes out for the flagpole, or there needs to be some kind of repair work on the flower bed, it comes out of Palisades Village entrance.
That's what I'm saying, the lot, they replace it twice a year, and it's $69 each time, so that's gonna be about $140 coming out of our $300 budget for the flower bed.
It was $66.24 this year, because they had to put a new light in there, not just a new light bulb. They had to do wiring for the whole new system.
twice a year? Is that-
No,
They usually replace the light
The
bulb.
light
I don't know
bulb.
how much the light bulb.
Oh.
We're supposed to do it this year.
Oh,
We had set up,
if you wanna allocate money for the flower bed entrance, not the flowers, you need to take it out of the $770.61. Do you wanna allocate
We've already,
$100
we've
for it?
already made a motion in the past to put the money in the discretionary fund. If we need more flower money, it can come out of that also. The discretionary fund is just that, it's a, the discretion. If we need more money for something there, that's what it's for. It's exactly that kind of thing that we're going to ask. We've already made the motion and it's passed.
okay, let's go on and discuss, take action on the tax rate.
We have
You
to
need
approve
that,
the
you need
budget.
a
Oh.
budget.
Okay, so we need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed budget for the 2021 year.
Hold on, the 770, what are you doing with that?
We're putting in the
It's in the
discretionary.
discretion, we already voted on it. We
Yeah.
voted, motion's made, it's in the discretionary fund. I make a motion that we approve the proposed budget for 2021 of $32,344.69. Okay? For the 21-22 tax year.
Do we have a second? Gary? Any opposed?
Aye.
All in favor? Except for Amy? Okay.
No.
No, I'm opposed. I don't like the discretionary fund.
You opposed?
Yes. You're good. You're good, no worries.
Okay, we're going to move on, to the tax rate. We need to discuss and take action.
The tax rate, the proposed tax rate for next year is 0.14530. And that's what Sherry was already discussed when she was here last.
I make a motion that we adopt the proposed tax rate of 0.014530.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're gonna move on down, for a building permit, for Chris Fry at 112 Exmoor. So we need to discuss that building permit.
Kelly's not here, so he asked me to speak on this. Our building committee met with Chris Bryan, looked at his, building plans, and we talked about, all of the, regulations that he would have to meet on his property at 112 Exmoor, including his, septic system. And he and his architect are meeting with John Gates this Friday, to figure out what kind of septic system, he's out of the floodplain. He met all of the, all of the regulations in our ordinances for building a new, structure.
Is it on the house?
Mhm.
Like,
Like a 3-story.
His plans are really nice.
Okay, we need to take action on this.
We
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion. We have a second.
Regarding this permit.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're getting to the end. We need to discuss, clarify, and take action on the ATV permits.
Back in, June, we talked about, the permits that we had for the ATVs. And a motion was made to remove the permit required in section 8.02003 and remove it as a fundraiser. So my question is, and before I can do any changes on our ordinances, I need some clarification. Are we gonna take it out of both, not have a permit at all? Or are we gonna do it as a fundraiser? It's- We've talked several times about doing it as a fundraiser and not have the restrictions on.
Well, if it is a fundraiser, I don't think we need it in our ordinances, do we?
Right,
Right.
that's my
Okay.
question, just for
Okay.
clarification. Okay.
And I believe-
So, fundraiser?
And I believe the minutes, Amelia made the motion to have it removed, and I
It says
think
remove.
that, yes, that passed, and so it would just be, it would be out of the ordinances completely, I believe.
Yes, but it
Yes.
said to remove it and to remove it as a fundraiser.
Oh, pardon me, that was a mistake. Correct. So keep it as a fundraiser. And so I'll make a motion that it is just as a fundraiser, the permitting for the ATVs is just as a fundraiser, and to be removed from the ordinances as a requirement. Is that better?
Yes.
We have a second. Gary seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, we're gonna move on down to discuss the fall cleanup. I guess we need to decide when we wanna do it. We need to do it before November, I think, right, fire wise. Does anybody have any preferences on when we wanna do this?
When is, Timber Creek's fire last? When
Well,
we were
ours
sharing?
with Timber Creek is October 23rd.
Dale, what has it historically been, the second week of October?
Yeah, the first or second week. But what he's talking about, that's kind of the event that you have to fulfill for Firewise. Hot dogs, hamburgers.
Right, we're just talking about cleanup though. When is this cleanup been the second week?
October, that's the first week, something like that.
Do we wanna set it for the second week?
What's the second Saturday fall on?
The ninth.
Nine.
Ninth, that'd be great.
Everybody agree on that? We'll just set that as October the 9th?
Are we, gonna have chicken or anything like that?
Well,
No, this is just.
this will just be a cleanup.
Okay.
Okay, there won't be any roll-offs at this, right?
Well, if it's a cleanup, we're gonna need some roll-offs.
Well, usually, in the past, we don't have roll-offs in the spring. So we'll have that.
So what is the cleanup? We don't have roll-offs.
We've had both, haven't we?
We've had roll-offs for both.
How about both?
We have had it, but not all.
Yeah. What did we allocate for cleanup?
Go back and check to see what money we have.
We'll have, where's an allocation?
It'll
What did
be,
we allocate?
it'll be for the next year.
This will be new.
Well, it starts October 1st, right?
Right.
Right, it'll be on the new budget. We allocated
The
that.
second.
You'll have to for fall and spring.
And I would like to set those roll-offs so we know exactly how many we're
Yes,
gonna
we will.
get, so we won't have,
We will.
so we won't have that discussion again.
We budgeted $2,000 for the year.
Now, this will be
But this
moving.
will be October 1st, so we'll have the 3,200 though, right?
No.
No.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Bill, yes, 3,200.
This is a private entity
So we will not have another meeting before the cleanup. So we need to discuss maybe right quick how many roll-offs we're gonna get. So we all know going in, I mean, we wanna do 4 and then just stop it at 4.
It's not with the city or anything.
Do 452 of each or something.
That's $1,600 for the spring and $1,600 for fall.
And that'll get, that's our 3,200 you have.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Just might mention on your cleanup, like last year, if you've got just lumber, we've got an individual that'll take it and chip it, so you might make note of that or put a sign for it or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you still do it, that'll help.
Yeah, we got a guy that'll pick up the metal.
And
Like I
they,
said,
I
that'll
think
help a
Randy
bunch
said
on,
that,
spaces, I think.
yeah, Well, Randy said they'll even do fence, it's got.
Yeah,
nails and
fences,
stuff in
they
it.
don't do, trees, bushes, anything like that. But,
Dimensional.
lumber, fences, any of that kind of stuff, he can grind that
Randy,
up.
if we stacked that in a relatively neat pile, would he be interested in picking it up, or do we need to take it to him?
I'll check with him, but I think you'll probably have to take it to him.
Well, I mean, I got a trailer I can use, several down here, and I mean, I'll make multiple loads when I get off of work. Like I said, I don't know if I can get off work on Saturday and Sunday, and I'll do what I
Yeah,
can
like
there.
make a convoy or something, take it out there to him or something, but that would give you some space in your dumpsters later.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Or maybe put a sign too, if there's any suspicious activity, because Starla said those people work out there.
Yeah, she said there was some cars driving down and
So
jumping
if you
in.
see something, call.
Yeah, so on that end right there, if we get that, since we paid for it as a community, and we get people from other outside of our community dumping, that's theft of service, and we can file on them for theft of service. It's just like if you buy, we pay for trash trucks down here, and I walk up and throw a beer can, which, I mean, I throw a beer can in your trash can, or a sack of trash in your trash can, or whatever, that's theft of service, that is a criminal offense.
But I mean, grab a license plate or something.
Yes, I mean, license, county, Brown County Sheriff's Office will need license plates, description of the vehicle and stuff, just can't go, well, they drove up in a white car and drove off.
And somebody mentioned that, there may be some people living up on the top,
Yeah,
so you don't know.
yeah, cause we
There's
do
only
have
that
what,
one house and they didn't do it.
Do what?
There's only one house up there and they didn't do
They
it.
didn't. I know Starla told me, and I went down here and there wasn't anybody here, so. Okay, we're gonna move on to
What was the rate on
October the 9th.
Do we wanna go ahead and make a motion
Well,
on
that-
roll-ups?
Yeah, I guess we need to go ahead and make a motion on the roll-off. We're gonna do 4.
Midday.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have 4 roll-offs at the October 9th cleanup.
Okay, we have a second?
Because it's not on the agenda, you can still make a motion to do that, or, but, because it really doesn't matter, right, as long as we do what? Just the fall cleanup?
Discuss fall cleanup is on the agenda.
Yeah, we're not taking action on it, I guess. I don't know if we need to take action on it or not.
Okay.
oh, we're not gonna have another meeting on it.
Yeah, we don't have another
It's on the
meeting.
agenda.
It's on the
Discuss fall
We're gonna have to
cleanup.
have a special.
It's on the agenda.
Well, but it's in the budget, it's to use the money for
It's
the
there, it's already allocated, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and that's what it's designated for, so.
We probably don't need a motion. We can, I mean, you went ahead.
Or we just
I'll
make
second.
that-
I'll second.
Okay, Dave will second it.
So what are you making a motion?
Just a roll.
Okay, and 4 roll-offs for the October 9th cleanup.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Question.
Any opposed? Oh,
What's the total cost on 4 now?
well,
You've got.
we're
16.
thinking, I know, we probably need to check it, but
Yeah,
it
you
could
better
go
check
up,
it
it
before you
probably
go.
has.
You might wanna call and reserve it,
I'll call them and ask them. And if
So
we-
then you'll get estimates and look at those, right?
Well, I guess if it's too high, we'll just get 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, spend what's
That should be the motion that we spent
You got 1,600.
1,600.
So,
Number of roll-offs.
Stay underneath that, you don't have to go off here and pay Paul.
Right. So, we'll just have to watch it close, it's pretty filled up.
I'm gonna make a motion to amend my motion and not exceed, we'll get roll-offs not exceeding the $1,600 for the October 9th.
And they have a second, all in favor?
Wait, the roll-ups, that includes your guys' bill that you do also, though, the 1,600?
Does that include what?
The bill that you guys cook hamburgers for all the volunteers and stuff, that's included in the
No,
1,600,
we'll
sorry.
take that,
Food and
we'll take
everything.
that with volunteers.
Jerry got all
and
that
donations.
donated last year and it
And
didn't
if
cost
not,
us
we
anything.
have to work this out.
I can bring the cooker down, the Renegade Sheriff's Association cooker, and cook it.
Oh, I'm sorry?
What happened to the microphones?
they're sitting in that storage room.
We don't have the board, we don't have the board to make them work.
I tried to get it fixed and.
We had a board at one
I
time,
can't-
they're just mics, you have to plug them into something that make them work.
couldn't
Can you
get
not
it.
hear us?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll enunciate.
Come closer.
We have an electrical person in here that can look at that thing.
Yeah, I can look at it.
It's just, you can?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay, we're gonna move down to the public comments. Now, it's limited to 2 minutes, and, you will address the board as a whole. And so the first up is Mr. Robert Booth.
It's 2 minutes.
I'll let you take it away.
All right. Hi, I'm Robert Booth. I'm addressing the board, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And then I'll be too.
You can address them, go ahead.
I'm the humble representative of the Booth family here in Palisades. So I was asked to come and share my perspective, my side of the story on how our trailer was removed from 248 Casino Drive. It started, I don't know exactly when, but I saw Kelly Campbell Lane walking down the street, and I was like, hey, I know her from high school and show choir and stuff. And so we started talking, and then I met her husband, Jerry. This is before he was mayor. This was over a year ago, probably. And shortly after we met, they asked us what was going on with that trailer. And I said, well, it's empty, nobody wants it, it's falling down. We'd love to get rid of it, you know, that was my perspective. And so we went back around through things with our family, and it took a while for us all to come together on the decision that the house is better left to someone else who can take it. And he did all the legwork, which I thought was extremely generous. This was before he was mayor, and found people that came out and looked at it and offered to take it away. Then we said, oh, we don't want to get rid of it yet. And so that delayed the process for a while. I don't know exact dates. You may know dates. I reached out to him and said, okay, we're ready to get rid of it. We're happy to be relieved of the burden of this house that's falling down. Nobody's interested in it. We don't have the resources to do anything with it. So he found someone who was willing to move it, ship it, drive it off, and put it on their property and deal with it. At no charge for our family, which at that time was especially a good thing for us. For, you know, we're all limited resources, and keeping an old house takes money. Anyway, so the trailer was taken away to our joy. My family's extremely grateful. My sister, who was resistant to this house that she raised her children in, being taken away, but she came to the point of gratitude for what you have done for our family in whatever aspect you did that, to have that place removed and to beautify the Palisades, which was, I think, probably a goal, and our goal as well. And so, to our relief and gratitude, thank you. And that's our side, and that's my side of the story.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Dale Connor?
How'd you get it for me?
I'll start with.
Okay, 2 minutes, right?
Yes.
Sir. Pretty general way. This is called about accepting change. I became mayor in 2013. I was mayor for 5 years. Let me tell you something. Let me tell everyone something. If you were to come down there this time and see it now, it has been a big change. It has been incremental, and it has improved, improved, improved. Now, there has been some setbacks. And setbacks, I feel, come from people who resist change. There's not a lot of people that resist change, but there's enough people that I understand their dissent, but the only thing I'm asking is, I think, for the complete village to get into a mode where change is inevitable. It's gonna take place. Let's all do it the best way we can, that the facts be presented. Now, unfortunately, the website, not the website so much, but what do you call it, the web, Facebook and things like that, is so seductive for rumors. Screw the rumors, come to the real truth and get communication between X and Y and solve the problem. And I'm basically out of the picture in my situation, but I can see, and I have kind of a pulse of what's going on. Some people get upset because they feel ostracized for whatever reason. Instead of running home and crying or whatever, or complaining, bring it out in the open. That goes for both sides. The truth, that's it.
Brenda Kiewit?
Well, you just stole my thunder, but, yeah, mine is similar, to that. My thing is, last month when we did the budget, I am not a people person. I'll give medication directly into your heart. But I am not a person that can deal with people with numbers. And to sit there and I know even on some of it, I know even with Amy, she'll go, ordinance 425, I don't even know what any of that means. But this takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. And it's free. Everybody does it for free. They're not getting paid. The mayor's not getting paid, the secretary, the person that waters the flowers, or there's a lot of people that are unseen also, that bring their tractors in, that don't want to get involved in any of this, that show up and help people that are, we got some people helping on Josephine that they don't even live there. And they're showing up and trying to help with our road, and stuff. And I mean, we're gonna have conflict like that, like Dale said, because we're a family, we're a community. And, I am thankful. And nobody gets paid on any of this. And apparently they found a lady that'll audit all this mess. I mean, it is, to me, is a perfect mess. It is incredible. I don't do any of this. Give me the kids and maybe the burgers. But everybody deserves being thankful. So make the burgers, clean up the mess afterwards, bring your tractor, and be the solution. That's it.
Thank you. Joanne?
Yeah, I want to address the minutes. A couple of times ago, someone did the minutes. I did not get a copy of those minutes, but they put in the minutes that they put some things in the minutes and didn't even sign the minutes. I mean, if someone does the minutes, if I'm not here, we need a secretary pro tem to do the minutes. And whoever does the minutes needs to sign those minutes, whoever did them. Like today, the minutes we got are not signed, it doesn't say who did those minutes. And then the previous minutes that y'all did, I did not get copies of those minutes. And I would like to address, all of the copies of the minutes that we've done that have gone online, and some of them aren't even stamped. I brought it up that we need a secretary pro tem. Starla offered the job to do it. I believe it was brought up that it would go on the agenda. It's not on the agenda.
I have a question. If you're not doing the minutes, who's doing the minutes?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I've done it before.
But they're doing that.
That's not your
Sherry
job.
signs her minutes when she does them, but the minutes that we've had,
I'm not
in
gonna sign
June,
my list.
we had 3 special meetings, and then we had one in July, which I sent him emails telling him I was sick in June. He said we were 4 months behind on the minutes. We were only 1 month, June and July, which was 4 minutes, because it was not 4 months of minutes. It was 1 month, we had a regular meeting and 2 special meetings, which I sent you an email and explained I could not get those to you. In July, someone did the minutes. I do not know who did those minutes. And I don't have a copy.
Who has all the assigned minutes?
I have the signed minutes from the last meeting where they were approved, because I have to scan them and put them on the website. We've not had a meeting since then for me to give them to you. I have them in a folder to give to you.
So they've been stamped then by the Secretary still?
No, they need to be stamped.
Are they already online?
They're online. Peggy said we don't need to have them stamped.
Okay.
And then residents, we need to keep
Well,
some residents.
we gotta hold this in 2 minutes, Joanne, if that's okay. Paul Fleming?
I don't think I need to speak on any of this. I would agree with Dale and Brandon. That's fine.
You good?
I think we're there.
Okay, you got some more time if you wanna dance?
I just need more time on Earth, but.
I don't want it. I'm really brave.
Thank you, sir.
Mary Jones?
Okay, pick it up. Okay, I'm glad to see the emergency management program coming soon, I hope. And I just want transparency for the board. I just want equal treatments for everybody. There's some people that have to get ordinance, they get building permits and some don't. There was a load of food delivered last week and there wasn't a permit for a building or anything at that address. But I just want transparency. I was told that maybe your company printed those, ATV cards. Is your company benefit from that? Okay, I just don't think that's right. But like I said, I just want y'all to treat us fair. The way y'all treated Joanne and tried to ostracize her has been awful. You've harassed her on holidays, on Sunday nights, when she had company in town, when she told you she was sick and having a test ran. And you passed me in the hallway last week and you act, like 2 weeks ago, and act like I had the plague. You cannot treat residents like that for the next 2 years. We are citizens and we have a right to speak. And that's all I'm gonna say. I just don't like the way you're been treating people.
Kelly?
Yeah, I was wanting to ask the board if, I could volunteer to put, welcome packets to the new residents. Starla had mentioned several times back that her and Tony did that, which I thought was really a great idea. And I would like to volunteer to put those together and welcome anybody that would like to help me do that and distribute those. But I wanted to ask if I may do that from the board.
It's a wonderful idea. Wonderful idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
If anybody that would like to help, if you know, I'm sorry, thank you, Brenda. If you know of a resident, if you can get their name and address to me, I'm still learning addresses and people, so I could use some help with people who know where everybody is down here. I'll be glad to do that. Thank you.
Who pays for this?
I'll pay for it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on down to the mayor's report. Some of this has already been covered that I was gonna talk about. I just like, what do y'all think about the mailboxes? I mean, is that not great? I've had people tell me that they're tripping over them, those potholes. I think it is just great.
People use Casino and people use Canyon Creek, but everybody uses that mailbox drive. It's very nice. Very nice.
I talked with, we had discussed, mowing back at the north gate, emergency gate. And somebody mentioned something about Mr. Rutar, he didn't want any weeds bothered, and wanted to keep it natural. So I talked with the Tanglewood mayor, and, she says, well, let me just send my guys over there and we'll just cut those weeds down. Okay? Then she called back and she goes, no, he came out there and he said that he had clearance from Tanglewood to leave that stuff natural. And she has been all to all the emergency meetings that we've been to on the fires. And so she says, let me take care of it. I said, okay, that's perfect. And on the fire-wise, I need somebody, Helen, what's her last name? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even see you. You said you were not really wanting to do it again?
No, I can't do it, I'm tied up with
can you kinda let us know kinda what it involves and see if we can get somebody to maybe start doing that?
Well, mostly just kind of go around, and you guys, all of you up there already go around and try to pick out spots that need tending to, and then when we have the meeting out here, just kind of designate people to go here and here, and, what needs to be cut, what needs to be trimmed. You know, that's about it, and then keep track of the hours.
Right,
Which I meant
that-
to bring, and I forgot to bring.
And
this.
how many hours we have to do a year? Can we get a funding for that or something?
Yeah, how many hours? I can't remember how many, that's great. How many, I don't remember how many hours we have to have.
There's two criteria you have to meet each year. One is a meeting or an event, which is gonna take place on October 23rd. The other one is you have to have so many hours, volunteer hours. If you cut the grass or clean the brush for 2 hours, that counts for 2 volunteer hours. And I think they give you $20 per hour. That goes to your qualification. Never had a problem raising money. Now, Carolyn, you kept a list of all the people that are for the cleanup. The last time we had in April. All those people times the number of hours will count as Firewise. Not talking about TFS, that's different. So those things would be turned in before November the 15th to keep your Firewise status.
November what?
15th. But usually try to do it no later than the 1st of November. It's just a matter of tabulating the hours, and there's many more that we never have counts, because people just don't turn it in. That's why by having a list, but if you do your October cleanup, have a list of those people, all that counts the number of people for the hours they work, so you'll be fine with that. And during the October 23rd, you wanna pass out Firewise information.
Okay, which we have, Helen, we have the brochures back here,
Yes.
correct?
And they'll give you a list of form to fill out and everything, you just send it in.
Okay. So do we have anyone that might want to do this, help us with it?
Is this for the one on the 9th or
It'd be the one on the 23rd, you gotta put
It's
out
not just
brochures.
for that, it's for the whole, it's for the whole.
We'll just be doing it from now on. You wanna do it? No?
Not right now. I'll work at the civic center, so I don't know what they were.
Would you be interested?
Can you come back?
Okay, if somebody wants to do this, just let us know.
They're not contact.
We'll just take. Okay, I wanna bring up one more thing. Some of these lots, residential lots, the growth is really up there. And so, I don't know if they're incapable. I mean, I've mentioned a couple times that I would take my mower and go help out, but I don't wanna get on somebody's property without them letting me. And I don't know, how y'all feel about that, and you, Dennis, you can tell me, I mean, these weeds, if they start dying, aren't they a huge fire hazard?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know how to do that. We can get a group of people together, and maybe go around and help some of these people that don't have mowers or for some reason, but, yeah, but there's quite a few of them that need to be cut down. So if y'all have any input on that, let me know.
What you might do, Jerry, is put up something at the mailbox, like a sign-up sheet. If you need help with your lawn or something like that, please sign
Yeah.
up here, give us your name and number and your address, and
Yeah.
that might be a good start, and then you have automatic permission.
That'd be great, we can
I'm
do
sure it'll
that.
fill up pretty quick.
And if we can get a couple of people that seems like the same people do everything. So if we can get, different people together, a couple guys, just go and just trim them down, cause some of them are bad. And, Dennis is gonna have a problem on his hands if something happens. Some of these residential areas, so, anyway, I'll put a sign up down there and see if we can get some people, if y'all know someone that's capable of doing it, shoot, I'm right there, and, so we'll see if we can help. So, Anyway, I guess we're gonna have an adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right.
Eight oh one.
All in favor?